Hello everyone, Stevie from worldoftrash.co.uk here, and welcome to the first of many wrestling-based podcasts. So what is World of Trash? Who am I? Why are we here? Well, this website was originally created a long time ago, but I had aspirations of being a DJ. Those days are long gone, and I decided, hey, that's a cool name. Let's use this website for something relevant, something I love, and one of those things is professional wrestling. So going with the theme of professional wrestling, podcast 1 of the new World of Trash era is me sitting down with a wrestler, a good friend of mine. I would consider him the Hulk Hogan of the northeast of Scotland. His name is Scotty Swift. He has a wealth of information. We're going to sit down, we're going to just see what Scotty's like. We're going to get into the brain of Scott when it comes to wrestling, the UK wrestling scene. He's also a big part of the Wrestlezone Scotland Training Academy, so we're going to pick his brains on that. And of course, we're going to get all the information for the upcoming Wrestlezone Aberdeen Anarchy 2017, which will be live at the Beach Ballroom on the 17th of June. We'll be talking about Aberdeen Anarchy and the build-up to this massive event that will be coming from the Beach Ballroom Aberdeen. When me and Scotty sat down to record this, we ended up talking for a long time. Sit down and just have a listen to Scotty Swift and I talk about professional wrestling. Let's get to the show. Hello everyone, it's Stevie from World of Trash here, and today I am sitting, chilling and chatting with the man who taught me most about wrestling on the ropes. Arguably the Northeast's most beloved wrestler, former Wrestlezone Tag Team Champion with Jay Lethal, and the current Wrestlezone Champion, Scotty Swift. Scotty, hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, Steve. What an introduction that was. He threw in Jay Lethal there. That was good, threw it in.
Had to, that's a big deal. Jay Lethal. You were a tag team champion with Jay Lethal.
Yeah, not for long, but we can't take that away from us, so that's good.
It's awesome. So anyway, it has been a while since I've seen you. I think the last time was round about Aberdeen Anarchy 2016 time. Yeah. So how are you doing these days, Scotty?
Good, very, very good. Keeping busy. Wrestling's going well. The Wrestlezone Training Academy became a thing that's taken up a lot of my time.
Awesome.
Good to get yourself from your previous experiences and what we did have and now what we do have now. It's good. I'm just doing what I do. I had a show last night that I know you want to talk about at some point as well. We'll get into that. All over the northeast of Scotland, all eyes on Aberdeen Anarchy. Yeah,
indeed, the screws are being twisted. It is that time of year. Everything's focused on Aberdeen Anarchy, which is awesome. I mean, I will quickly mention for people listening, you brought up the academy. Yeah. And as you said, we used to train in the old Wrestlezone Academy, just to let people know what it was. Wooden floors, hardcore, the bare bones, and this is the type of environment that Scotty learned, came up in, and where a lot of the Wrestlezone people came up through, which a lot of people probably don't appreciate. No. Because it is a hard learning experience.
It's very hard. We've had guys who backgrounds of MMA and rugby who have not lasted, or the ones that do stick around have said, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but it's also the most rewarding thing that they've done as well. So, there are lots of preconceptions. I'm not going to go into that rabbit hole because we'll be here for the rest of the evening, the rest of the day. But it's you don't know what it is until you actually try it yourself, and then you get then you realise how hard it is.
You're shocked.
And you have trouble getting up the next morning. So
indeed. So tell me a bit about your wrestling year since last year's Aberdeen Anarchy. What sort of stuff have you been getting up to in the ring?
Well, keeping the Undisputed Wrestling Championship, but then sadly losing the championship there at Inverurie against Andy Wilde, one of the top guys in this country. I said been overlooked for a long time. Thankfully, I've since retained that championship, and we've already spoken about Aberdeen Anarchy there. We've had the Regal Rumble, but everyone loves a Rumble.
Oh, indeed.
Anyone who's got any passing knowledge on wrestling will know over the top rope rules. Both feet must hit the floor to be eliminated till one man's remaining. That recently happened here in the Granite City. Inverurie, Peterhead, Stonehaven on the horizon, Huntly. Is it if anywhere that's open to the idea of professional wrestling and they have somewhere where they could be hosted, we're going to go there and we're going to put on a hell of a show. So that's been my year. Just like every other year, just doing it. I'm doing it.
Keeping the nose to the grindstone, and promoting wrestling and helping wrestling take on this area.
Also the future of wrestling, having the academy as well means the people involved there have the opportunity to know that when the likes of myself and the other current roster members, it's going to happen one day. We're going to get too old. We're going to get too old to do it. We know it's going to be in safe hands because we've got the next generation of Aberdeen wrestlers waiting in the wings. So
awesome.
And the cycle continues.
I look forward to seeing them, and as you say, the wheel keeps turning.
It has to.
Some people don't realise it in wrestling; they just think it is what it is all the time. But there's a constant wheel turning. Things have to change all the time, and it's good to hear that the wheel is constantly turning and things are getting refreshed.
Things are in place. I mean, people have their favourites, but I mean, like I say, I love chocolate cake. If I eat it every day, I'm going to get sick of chocolate cake.
Indeed.
You know, you have to plan for the future, and you have to know that when you're done and the boots get hung up. And I'd still love to be involved in it in some way, but I do recognise it at some point. I mean, I've got some injuries. It's not stopping me from doing it, but you know, I'm not getting any younger, and I recognise that one day I'm going to have to accept that it's not for me anymore, and then let the new core guys take over. And any way I can help, I'm going to do it. Because for me to walk away from it, it's going to be damn near impossible. It's not happening now. I'm too far in now, and that's the way it is.
I know what you're like, and I could see that being very hard.
Oh yeah.
So what are your current goals in wrestling, like at the moment? What sort of things are you trying to do?
I'm trying to do right now. We're trying to get the word out for Aberdeen Anarchy, which is sold out since 2013. The annual event is sold out at the Beach Ballroom, and looking to retain my Undisputed Championship in that show, but also more importantly, just make sure that people are aware of. You know, there's a pretty big deal happening at the Beach Ballroom, June 17th, and you know, we've had many years in the past where people have left it to the last minute and then they've tried to get tickets, and then they've been messaging asking, "Is it sold out?" It's like, "Yeah, it's sold out. You had your chance." So that's the thing right now. With Stonehaven coming up as well, that's another chance to get the word out there. Stonehaven's always been a great crowd. So yeah, we're very much that final push. Things happening with the Aberdeen Music Festival. We're going to be a part of that. June 3rd at Hazelhead Park.
Excellent.
The Comic Con, May 20th, 21st. We will be there. The ring will be up, and we will be wrestling at Comic Con. I'm trying to remember all the things we got going on. June 10th, we're going to be at Union Square again, outside the shopping centre. The ring's going to be up. Praying for sunshine, no rain. So all these things are happening in the lead up to Aberdeen Anarchy, and it's not just one day. It's almost a month's worth of festivities leading up to the big blowout. So I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I've been along these a few years ago, and I know exactly what that push is like. It is really hard work.
You've been right in the midst of what needed to be done, and you've been helping out, lending a hand, and you also know the buzz as well, how exciting it can be. You remember that first year and how excited we all were.
It was something else.
It was
fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. It's a moment that probably couldn't be replicated. For me, being part of the wrestling world, it was just like the pinnacle. It was brilliant. I get goosebumps even thinking about it. So we'll go on from this. Let's go a cliche question. Who is your favourite wrestler?
Oh, well, you see, the most obvious one to me to go to is Shawn Michaels. But you can talk. I mean, you're talking about during various stages of my life, at different ages. I've had my favourites. Hulk Hogan. When I was very young, about 10 years old, about 13, 14, Bret Hart was my guy. And then I kind of morphed into Shawn Michaels, and then Steve Austin became red hot, and then Mick Foley, the most unlikely candidate to be a main event guy. So Mick Foley was a favourite of mine too as well. You say in light of what's happened recently, Undertaker recently retiring, there's very few guys who have had more matches that I've been so emotionally invested in, which is an argument to say, well, he should be in that talk as well. So I'm going to say Shawn Michaels for now. If you ask me another day, it may be someone else. I'm a massive John Cena fan. And that's a controversial statement. Apparently, I'm meant to like John Cena. I don't care. Roman Reigns is fantastic just now. It's like, hey guys, I don't care. It's like I will defend and argue for Roman Reigns all day long because I think he's fantastic. So Shawn Michaels, because Shawn was the first name I said, obviously it's in the forefront of my mind. But on any given day that my answer could change.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys
That's
I
wrestling.
look up to.
It's a very subjective world.
Oh yeah,
I think it's subjective.
Randy Savage. Macho Man was one of my favourites too.
See, we should cut it. That's Shawn Michaels, because the longer we go, the more favourites we're going to have.
We're going to end up naming every guy. Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Come on now, yeah.
Woo.
Lots of guys.
Oh, there's so much. It's never ending. So the UK scene at the moment is getting massive. It is. I don't know if it's white hot, but it's definitely red hot. What are your thoughts on the current UK wrestling scene?
Well, I could state the obvious and say that the scene's loaded with talent and there's great promotions everywhere, and that would be the stock answer. That would be the obvious answer because it's true. Yeah. Or I could be more honest and say there's too much wrestling in this country now. There's too much wrestling in the UK, and because there's guys doing it right and doing well and putting on fantastic shows, everyone else is jumping on because they see it's hot. But the more people that do it, the less hot it's going to be because they're going to start diluting it. There's a core of guys who are doing it right, and then there's some people who are jumping on that who really is a vanity project. Yeah. I mean, talk about there's guys who are doing it right. There's ICW, there's PPW, there's Progress, there's Rev Pro, you know. But then everyone else jumps on, and it's like. And what you're seeing all these promotions pop up that have no identity because they don't have their own core of guys. Yeah. Because all they're doing is they're using the guys that they like, which can already be seen on the other better established promotions. So what are you offering this people that's different to what the established guys are already doing? Yeah. Because you see the same guys. That's very true. There's so many. You see the same guys, and it's like, well, where's your core? Like WrestleZone's very fortunate to have a home base with recognisable personalities to the local audience, and then we can then have the opportunity to have other talent in to enhance what we have and make it feel fresh. Yeah. But we have a core and we have people that are predominantly WrestleZone guys. Yeah. So when you have an identity, there's more a sense of an attachment to what you're doing. There's too many companies who just use the guys that whoever's in charge of the company is that I like to watch these guys, I'm going to book these guys. Yeah. But they could be seen on like 4 or 5, 6, 7 other promotions. So does it really need to happen? And the shows will be good because the talent on the show are good. But it's the same talent on every show, And that's my problem with it. And that's not a Scottish thing. That's a United Kingdom thing. Yeah. It's bigger than that. Yeah. And then when you got World of Sport wanting to do stuff now, ITV, and obviously the WWE now did the UK tournament, had that deal. It's like whoa, it's just so much. There's too much content now. I'm a massive wrestling fan, and the amount of wrestling I watch just now isn't that much because I'm so busy with what we're doing. Yeah. That when people ask me, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "No." Because I just don't have the time. Yeah, I don't have the time. And it sounds like a cop out. Yeah. No, it's not a cop out at all. I mean, the actual level of talent in the UK is as good as anywhere in the world. Oh, definitely. And that's a fact. And that wasn't always that way. Yeah. When we were walking up here, and we mentioned the early days. Yeah. Of those shows with the tribute acts to fake Undertaker. No, UK. We're past that now because the people who are still doing that need to get out and be ashamed of themselves because there's too much talent. Guys with their own identities, guys doing their own thing, getting over with their own talent, and not having to piggyback off the success of the stars. Yeah. Now, don't tell people about the stars that aren't here. You be the star and remind them of who you are. Yeah. So we're past that point now. The talent's amazing, but there's too much wrestling. They say chocolate cake. Yeah. You eat it every day, you eventually get sick of it. Yeah. And that's the problem we have. In my opinion. Yeah. That's how I feel. It's a very fair point in my opinion. So, quick. Send your hate mail to Stevie. So what we'll do is, because we're going that, I'll edit it down, so don't worry about that. I'll condense it down. What I'll do is, I just have an idea. I'll do a short version and a long version, so we can use that one. So listen to the whole thing. Here you go. That'd be good. Give people an option. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Quickly following on from that last question, with WWE obviously announcing a weekly
UK wrestling event this week on NXT, and we've got Impact running World of Sport, although they've postponed their first taping.
The tapings have been postponed
so
whenever.
Say it gives 6 months in the UK scene. What do you think the WWE and Impact coming so heavily into the UK is going to do to it?
I think what's going to happen there probably is there's going to be some kind of restrictions on where the guys can work, and we're seeing that already.
Yeah.
You know, you can't work for so and so if this has been filmed, because we can't have you being on a televised product that isn't our product, and the whole thing's quite messy just now. I think it'll calm down, and I think it'll become a little more obvious what the deal is. It's a big transitional period just now where it's almost the UK scene has never had to deal with this Americanized notion of almost like territories. You know, back in the day, this was quite a common thing in America, but it's never been a thing in the UK. So it's almost like what happened in the early 80s is now happening here for the first time in the UK, and it's uncharted waters. We haven't ever had to experience that before. It's for the people are doing stuff with like What Culture and Progress, and the companies like ICW that have pay-per-views. It's going to affect them because you're going to be, like I said, you can't work certain places, you can't be featured on this. If it means those guys get more work, then fantastic. Because if the guys are working, it's good. I'm happy with that. If it becomes a monopoly, and you know what happened when Vince expanded, when the World Wrestling Federation expanded, and then they gobbled up all of the territories. It could get to the point where that's what happens in the UK, and that's going to limit guys' opportunities. The people who aren't figured in, the guys who aren't considered stars on that level, they're going to be the ones who may be left with the scraps. And it might happen, it might not, but if history has taught us anything, it's a good chance it will. And I'll be in Aberdeen just going, okay. You know, because I mean, like, we're kind of isolated here a little bit.
I always
which
thought
is a good thing and a bad thing, you know?
I always thought that Wrestlezone exists in its own bubble, with the Aberdeen and the Northeast being so detached from the rest of the UK, but still a massively populated area. Wrestlezone is pretty much the only company that runs this, and it's one of the biggest areas that a wrestling company would probably regularly work in the UK. Yeah, I've always seen it as in a bubble. It's very much in a bubble. It's like people can come into it, but the people that are in the bubble and the fans in the bubble, this Wrestlezone's it. That's like the main wrestling in the area. It's something I think is underappreciated with the wrestling scene in the UK and stuff like that. And pretty much what you said there, I agree with you there. Very kind of in a bubble, which is again can be a good thing and a bad thing. If you're aware that you're in a bubble, then it's not an issue. If you're in a bubble and you don't think you are, then that's a problem. But we are. I mean, there's some people think that nothing happens in Aberdeen. Like, nothing happens in the Northeast, and that's wrong. They're very wrong. But sometimes because people think that way, you get left to your own devices, and sometimes it's not a bad thing. Because, like we said, there's too much wrestling now. You know, I love wrestling, but there's too much of it. It doesn't matter how much I love something. If it's too much, it's too much. And now it's never been easier for someone to just buy a ring and put on a show. But should you be doing it? No, definitely not. Leave it to the people with the experience.
Because wrestling's looked at the way it is, there isn't a governing body where you have to be scrutinised and you have to run. It's like you don't sign for a license. You know, a lot of these. I mean, I'm not. You know, a lot of people who are just popping up overnight probably don't have insurance. And you need to have public liability insurance.
Definitely.
You need to have any kind of electrical equipment has to be pat tested. All these things that people don't think about is like, do you have these things in place? And if you don't, you shouldn't be doing it.
Definitely.
But no one's on them because there's no regulated body for professional wrestling in this country.
I mean, at the end of the day, with these sorts of situations, what's going to happen is someone's going to get seriously hurt, and because they've been seriously hurt and there's no insurance and they don't have the right system set up at the event, someone's going to get really hurt. And that's what's going to happen. Whether it be a fan or a wrestler, even worse if it's a fan, if they've not got insurance and a fan gets hurt, then that's wrestling for the whole of Britain will get a bad name.
Exactly. All it takes is one person. It's like some people who aren't savvy to wrestling, just see the name wrestling, won't be able to distinguish one from the other. They all think it's the same thing.
Definitely.
And that's something that we've encountered. We had to explain to people, no, That's not us.
Yeah.
That's someone else. But they don't know it. I mean, and you can't be annoyed at these people for thinking that way because they don't know. They just see wrestling and they think it's wrestling.
To them it is what it is. It's wrestling.
It's the name, that's all it says. So,
yeah, definitely. So one last question on this section. Oh, sorry. Quickly, we were talking about the Wrestlezone Academy a little bit ago. Do you know of any potential stars in the making? Is there any names you know of people that's coming up through the Wrestlezone Academy at this moment?
Well, I'm not gonna necessarily say names of the people who I think who have got a chance of doing it, because if they were to hear it and oh my god, there's pressure. There is definitely 5 or 6 people that are like, all right, okay, and a lot of people who came through the door since it's opened. So 5 or 6 out of the amount of interest we've had is quite a good average, because as you know, a lot of people just don't get to that point, and you know that, and you've seen it. Marcus, change his name, Nathan North. Don't call him Marcus. No. Nathan North and Bradley Evans have done a couple of shows. They actually wrestled last night.
Excellent.
They did very well. They're a couple of Inverurie boys, so they worked in their hometown last night, so
awesome.
they were very excited.
So is that their first match in the hometown?
The first match in the hometown, but not their first match in the show. Dave came through. There's a couple of other people, like I said, but there's definitely 5 or 6. So as far as like averages go, that's a pretty good batting average, because most people just don't get their head around the concept of what it is, because it's very hard. But the Wrestlezone Training Academy is on Facebook. Wrestlezone Training Academy. Put it in Facebook, it'll pop up. Put it in a Google machine, you'll find it there. Any interest, like the page. Yeah. Who knows, you may be the next superstar in the making.
And I will say this, if you want to see some wrestlers or see someone that's came through the Wrestlezone Academy, go look up Aspen Faith.
Yep.
He's currently started wrestling all over Scotland. He's making his break into ICW.
He's working ICW tonight for the Fight Club taping. Yeah. So it's very good. Himself and Lewis Garvin against Polo Promotions.
Yeah, so that should be good. And that he is a product of the Wrestlezone Academy. So if you want to see a product of the Wrestlezone Academy, I can't think of a better example.
Yep. Also, you can throw in Zach Dynamite in there as well.
Oh, of course. Zach. Good old Zach. I like Zach.
Yeah.
I like Zach a lot.
But we are on Facebook, Training Academy page, Wrestlezone page itself for the company. You know, everyone's got Facebook. It's easy to navigate. You type it in, you're going to find it. Boom. Give us a like. Give us a share. Come to the shows. Yeah.
There's nothing better than going to the shows and seeing what it's about. Then
speak to people. Sit and watch wrestling on television, and it's great. But it's a total different thing when you're there in person.
100%.
Reach out and high five. You know,
you got to avoid people. You're like, oh.
Even when you go to an arena show, it's bigger, but you don't have the intimacy. You don't get that one-to-one time that you could have in a smaller show. So many people have said that our smaller shows, the nature of what they are better than the bigger shows that you've seen. And I know why they say that, because they're not looking at it from that critical point of view. They're looking at it from the investment point of view, and that's what we're about. We're all about. We're here, you're the crowd, and we're bouncing energy off each other. You know, that's what it's about, and that's what I like. You know, because you're making a difference. You know, even if one person leaves that show and you made a difference in that person's life, then
that's the way I see it. Doing things like this in the media. There's a way of thinking that I read about this. As long as you're doing something for that one person, and one person goes away, and you've done something good, you've done something good for the world, because you've made that one person happy. Yeah. And it's a really good philosophy to have. And if you make that one person happy, you're probably making most of them happy. It's awesome. And I will say, the smaller shows that you're talking about in Aberdeen, I would say like Great Northern Hotel shows and Summerhill Hotel. Yeah. They're like little shows, but they've got like 200 people packed into this little show. Yeah. And the atmosphere in those shows are amazing. Yeah. There's something now. They're on another
people
level.
They're on you. Yeah. And the sound has nowhere to escape. Yeah. So the sound's going to stay there. And they're fun. Yeah. Those shows are really fun for me. Those shows are, and I've had people leaving those shows absolutely raving about what we've done. So we know that's when you get the reassurance, and you get the instant feedback from people. It's like they are enjoying this because they will tell you straight. They'll tell you in the moment. Yep. So you don't have to wait till after the show, because you will know if the show was good for the audience, because they will tell you when it's happening. Yep. And it's very, you don't get that in you get that in theatre. You get that in theatre and wrestling are the two most obvious ones. Music, because you're getting the instant feedback now, and that's And you don't get that in very many things. You get the immediate feedback, and that's why it's very addicting. Yeah. To do it.
You get hooked on the.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
There's worse things to be hooked on. That's for sure.
I'm hooked on coffee. Yeah. I'm drinking coffee just now. Awesome. Anyone who knows me will be surprised by that. Coffee, and wrestling. That's two things I'm hooked on. So I can live with that.
Last question of this section, where we're just generally talking about you and wrestling. What's your favourite match of all time? Is it Alicia Fox versus Melina?
It is Alicia Fox against Melina.
So what is your favourite match?
Favourite match of all time is Hell in a Cell with Undertaker, Triple H, Wrestlemania 28. Because I was at that show. Oh
man, that must have been something else. What was it like being in that sort of arena for that sort of match?
Completely lost my mind.
Yeah.
We were where we were sitting. We were the guys that were sitting next to us. We just started chatting away to them. A couple of guys like local. The show was in Miami, so a couple of local boys. And one was for Undertaker, and one was for Triple H. And the guy who was a Taker fan, me and him were in each other's arms at one point, just reacting to. Met him that day. Yeah. And we were just grabbing each other, and because Undertaker almost lost, and we were like, oh no! He kicked out, and we just grabbed each other this massive burly American guy. Yeah. See, I mean, you don't get, to have that, this complete stranger and to embrace him over this match that's happening with you and another 60,000 people, in Miami. It's like that whole deal. Yeah. The intro they did and the match all together went 55 minutes, and then they had the thing at the end where they were on the stage. It was the end of an era, and Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H all there, and you knew that would be the last time that these three would be together in this environment. And it was like that whole thing, almost an hour-long deal, was the epitome of storytelling. Mm-hmm. You could have two other guys do the exact same match, and it wouldn't have been. Yeah. But because it was them and Shawn was the referee, my opinion, that's the greatest match in the history of wrestling.
A very good match to pick. So, one of my favourite moments is in that match. It's the bit when Shawn Michaels super kicks Taker, and Taker gets up, and Shawn Michaels reacts like Taker just went and kicked his daughter or something. Yeah. He's like, oh! That's
it. The super kick in the pedigree, and when Undertaker kicked out, that was me and the random American guy were holding each other, embracing each other, going, oh god, shit. It's like that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. For that moment in time, we were in. You're in, and they've got you. Yeah. Because they're the masters, and that's the guys, and that's the stuff that I look up to. Because it's not doing flips and I mean the people that can do that stuff, God bless them, because I can't do any of that stuff. So I can't do, but that's not what I don't get anything out of that. Yeah. I get out of the who are you and why are you doing it and why do I care. And that match is just. Awesome storytelling, the best story. That's the best story I've ever seen in a wrestling match. The second best was Bret Hart and Steve Austin, Mania 13 I Quit match.
And then that's a brilliant match.
They kind of switch roles as the match progressed. Yeah. That's the second best storytelling I've ever seen, because that was two masters doing something that most people are not able to do. Yeah, and it was perfect. Yeah. So that's my honourable mention there, is that one. Yeah.
So if you've not seen that matches, go and watch them now.
If you haven't got the WWE Network, if you're a wrestling fan and you don't have a network, then we're going to have a problem.
Oh, here you go.
Because you've got a valuable resource, and especially we say the guys who are training and the people that don't have a network, get it, because it's going to be your resource tool. Yeah. That's your homework. If you want to be a wrestler and you don't have the network, a $10 a month. No, if you don't have a network, then there's a serious disconnect here. Get a network and watch this, because I'm always recommending guys, recommending matches that watch this.
And that is where the matches are to be watched, in their full glory.
And no, not just WWE. I mean, I know there's lots of other wrestling out there as well, but I mean, have the network as well. Like some guys will subscribe to Progress and ICW and all that. It's brilliant. Have the network as well, because they're the market leader.
Definitely. There's no question. No question about that.
They are number one. Whether you're a fan of the product or not, they are. Yeah. So there must be something going on there that's working. So you might want to watch it. For me, that's like a no-brainer.
For me, going on to the storytelling bit, that is what WWE does better than anyone. They can create actual drama in matches. Other companies will try to maybe tell a story amazingly, but they can just never get that dramatic moment where you're like, what the hell's going on? And it catches you like you're watching a really big moment in something epic like Game of Thrones or a really hard-hitting drama.
Yeah.
WWE, when they do WrestleMania main events and stuff like that,
and it works.
They have that ability to just really turn the emotion up to the top level and just pull the drama out of the match. And the people just hitting each other and then lying down for a minute. But that hitting each other and lying down for a minute is amazing.
because it was time.
Yeah.
And how do you know it's time? They just do.
Yeah, they do.
And how do they know? Because that's why they're there.
Damn right.
And that's a lot of people don't. That wushes people. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I'm all about that because I like lying down for a minute.
Get your breath back.
I'm not stupid. Yeah. I'm not. I recognise what I am. Mm-hmm. And I know what I like. And you're always going to be influenced by what you like. And I'm influenced by that.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it. That's what I enjoy. I like stories and I like people.
Yeah. And it catches you right in the middle of the chest.
Come on. Like that's what it's about. You're not bam, 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 bam. Because that's not nice.
That's just moves.
Yeah.
That's just people doing moves.
The guys that do it and they're fantastic at it. Mm-hmm. It's just not me.
Yeah.
Some guys like chocolate cake and some guys like
A good example I would give of that, and this might be controversial, this is just my opinion here.
You can't have controversy here, Steve.
I would say Will Ospreay is a prime example of that. He is amazing at wrestling, but when it comes to getting the emotion out of people, he's not that good, and he doesn't have that much experience in that side of things. He can do any move, but he just can't do that.
True, but when people are booking him, they're booking him for that. Mm-hmm. So he is giving the promoters and the fans what they want. Yeah. So it's just, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. But that doesn't mean to say that's not a place for it. It's like anything else. Like people get hot about that with wrestling. You don't like this guy because that. It's like no, but like I like a TV show and you don't like a TV show. But it's not going to be a debate. Mm-hmm. So why is it a debate here? Yeah. Like you mentioned Game of Thrones. I never watched it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to roll my eyes at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Game of Thrones is like super over just now. I get it. And you know what? I'd probably watch it and I would enjoy it. But I just don't have the time. I started watching Parks and Recreation. So that's now my non-wrestling.
So that's your current TV show.
That's my current. That I'm now finally got. People keep telling me about it for months. I finally got around to watching it and it's fantastic. So that's what I'll be watching. But like Will Ospreay is fantastic at what he does.
Yeah. Oh, hands down, he's amazing.
But it's too much for me. Mm-hmm. But I'm listening to the audience and they're going mental. So he was right that night. Are you working for your crowd or are you working to keep everyone happy?
It's very true.
Like him and Ricochet and all those guys. Yeah. Oh my God. But I mean, I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much for me. But the place is going mental. So were they wrong that night? No, they weren't wrong that night because they gave the people what they wanted. Yeah. Because there's nothing wrong with. There's guys that do that, and there's some guys that tell the story with comedy, and there's some guys that tell the story with souls. Some guys tell the stories with brawling, and some guys tell their story with doing as little as they humanly possibly can to getting the most out of it. Yeah. All of it's right if the crowd's buying it. Yeah.
See, I'm learning here. I'm learning. You're teaching me again, Scott.
No, it's just just because I don't like something doesn't mean to say that I don't enjoy that. But the place is going the Young Bucks. Mm-hmm. The place is going mental. I'm not a fan of what they do. It's a whole ironic, tongue-in-cheek thing. Yeah. I don't like it because, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think you should be breaking the fourth wall. Yeah. But people like them and they sell merch and they're popular. So who am I to say that they're? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Each to their own.
Obviously, do. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Again, no. This I'd go on all day.
We could go on all day with this. Let's jump to the Wrestlezone. We're going to talk about Wrestlezone. Coming up, obviously, is Aberdeen Anarchy, so we're going to cover a bit
June 17th, Beach Ballroom, Aberdeen Performing Arts. Tickets are available there. The box office at the Lemon Tree are selling them too as well. Get them, because if you don't, you're going to miss out like hundreds of people have in the past when they're knocking in the doors.
I've seen them. I've seen them firsthand. I have seen families, children turned away at the door because the building cannot take any more people. I've seen children crying. It's horrible, but this
people
happens.
Travelling from out with Aberdeen on the day with your children, it's like, don't do that.
Get a ticket.
If you get it in advance, you don't want to travel all that way. But they've been turned away because the building's at capacity.
Yeah.
And they can't let you in because it's not a town hall or a community centre where they can just, this is like, it's a beach ballroom.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the limit. There's no real flim-flam there. So if you buy your tickets in advance and then the company can announce or sell it, then everyone can know in advance of it, But unfortunately, and I'm bad as well, our Aberdeens are notorious for waiting to the last minute.
Yeah, yep, 100%.
I'm bad for it as well. I'll get it later, and then they realise,
I'm late.
we missed out here. So it's sold out every year. So
get your tickets.
Pronto. And I'm not just saying it actually has sold out every year. It honestly has sold out every year.
I can confirm that it is a bona fide sellout every year. Get your tickets as soon as you can. So last night, Wrestlezone had their fan appreciation night for the first time ever, I believe. That was in Inverurie Town Hall.
Yep.
Where were you on the show and how did it go? Were you having a match?
I had a blindfold match.
Oh, interesting.
Against a super executioner.
Oh my god.
Who's dressed like he's dressed like a ninja, but he's not a ninja.
He's insane.
I think he's from Glasgow because he speaks in a really broad Glaswegian accent. He
likes boasting about his smell.
He smells.
He's a strange character.
I was in a blindfold match. This match was very much a thank you to Inverurie because we've been going to Inverurie for quite some time now. And they've always been really good to us. So we kind of rolled out the red carpet a little bit. Opened the doors half an hour early. Had a meet and greet myself. Bradley Evans, a new guy, he was there. The Inverurie hometown boy. Me, Zach Dynamite, Blue Thunder, Brian Tucker, Mickey Vago and Chris Archer, tag team champions. The Rejected were there. So we were all there, kind of meeting and greeting. That was good. Place was really busy.
Yeah.
Show was great. Had a couple of matches where people had the chance on Facebook to pick the stipulation. What choices to pick. So we had a tables match with Aspen Faith and Blue Thunder. Unfortunately, Blue Thunder was not successful.
Poor Thunder.
We had a Kiss My Foot match with Mr. Malice and Brian Duggar. Sorry, Lord Mr. Malice.
Lord Mr.
Malice with his butler, Jeeves Winchester, who has got a hump.
He has actually got a hump.
And we have reason to believe that the hump is not a regulation hump. It's actually a fake hump.
I thought that was a real hump.
I don't.
Are you saying that's
I think the shenanigans.
He is even stranger than Super Executioner, if you ask me.
He is. He has trouble getting in the ring. I don't know how old he is.
He has trouble with life, I think. You know what I mean?
He has trouble breathing.
He has just trouble in general.
Everything's difficult for him. And unfortunately, I was not successful in my match because Shawn Johnston, who I'm going to have a match with Aberdeen Anarchy this year, came out and took advantage of the fact that I couldn't see what I was doing because I was blindfolded. So the Super Executioner pinned me last night, and that's the first match he's ever won.
He will never. No one will hear the end of this.
Yeah.
No one will ever hear the end of this. Every time.
Now he's going to claim that he's in contention.
Yeah, he will.
Which technically he is, but the thing about Aberdeen Anarchy is, these things are locked in, and me and Shawn Johnston is happening, and Shawn Johnston's going to get a wake up call. Is what he's going to get.
Okay, well, we'll have to see what happens here then.
I was embarrassed last night because there was the smart money was Executioner was probably not going to win because he very rarely does.
Yeah.
But barring that, last night was one of the more. What's the best way to describe it? Just with the interaction with the fans, it was definitely the most fan-friendly show I've ever been a part of, and it was good to give back.
Oh, it's good to hear that. It's really good to hear. From last night, I seen on Wrestlezone's Facebook page a shiny new belt.
Yes.
And that was the Wrestlezone's Tri-County Championship. Now, I've been away from Wrestlezone for a while, so I don't know about the Tri-Counties Championship. Could you tell us a little bit about the Tri-Counties Championship?
I think what the deal was management is recognising that there's so much new talent coming through, not just from our own means, but just there's so much talent in Scotland that it was time to establish a secondary title, a secondary championship belt, because it gives the guys something else to shoot for. The level of competition is a lot higher than it was at any other point here. Yeah. So we can justify it felt if things are done via timing.
Yeah.
While you're doing this now, it just feels right. And you'll know when it's the right time. And that's how they felt. They felt it was time to establish a new belt. So a 16-man tournament has been ongoing since October in Balmedia. And the finals were meant to happen at West Hill 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately that did not happen because there's been some indecisive results with the last 2 semi-final matches.
Okay.
And I don't know where it's heading, but Zach Dynamite, Brian Tucker, Aspen Faith and Bingo Balance are all technically still in the tournament, but we need, guys, you need to stop getting involved in each other's matches. We need to establish a champion here. And if we're going to establish a champion here, then you need to just leave it be. Yeah. And Aspen Faith has been the instigator in all this.
There's no surprise there then.
No, there's no surprise there. But then the other three, Tucker, Balance, Dynamite, have all been defending themselves because they want to do this the right way, but unfortunately their hands been forced because Faith is
doing as usual. So
we got 4 guys here. 4 guys, and we need to get to a final match here so we can establish this champion. Yeah. The champion, we should have a champion by now, but it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. And any regular fans who become to the shows will know what a carry on it's been. So, but that's a beautiful, that Tri-Counties Championship is really a beautiful bout. It's got the solitaire, the Scottish flag style. And
if you want to see the belt, go on to Wrestlezone's Facebook page.
It's a beautiful one. The belt has been on display at shows because we were kind of hoping to have a champion by now, and it hasn't happened yet. But
it will come.
Hopefully, Stonehaven, we can get something resolved because it would be good to have. It would be nice if they were able to get a Tri-Counties champion established to go into Anarchy perhaps, and maybe they could defend the championship on the big show. So Stonehaven is our last opportunity for a show. We have other things that we could do beforehand, but I don't think management really want to decide it on any extracurricular events. It's going to be on a show, an official Wrestlezone show. So hopefully Stonehaven will be the answer to that.
All right, cool. So the 5th annual Aberdeen Anarchy is coming up on the 17th of June this year. Can you tell me a little bit about this event?
The Beach Ballroom has played host to lots of great acts. I always mention that the Beatles play there. We're going to be performing in the same building that the Beatles were in. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's sold out. It's sold out every year. And 2013 was the first time we were in the Beach Ballroom there. It's an opportunity. It's almost a celebration. It's almost like a big blowout for Wrestlezone. We'll get some names, some guys that may be familiar to people who watch wrestling on television. I mean, Billy Gunn and Jim Duggan that first year. Had the chance to team up with X-Pac. That was fun. Scotty Swift came in, had that fantastic match with Grado. That was a riot. That was an absolute riot. Dave Underley, Harper Holly, Chris Masters, Bill Dempsey, Kalito, Hurricane. Go on and on and on. And this year is going to be Melina, former WWE Women's Champion. Hornswoggle, the King of Small Style, in Rikishi. If people remember Rikishi, remember the big Samoan guy that danced and the stink face, and they go, the stink face. Someone's probably going to get a stink face in the Beach Ballroom, and I'm just glad I have my match set in stone. Because I actually think me and Rikishi would get along okay, so I like to think that I wouldn't get a stink face. But there's a number of guys on the roster that probably need a stink face because they need to stop talking. So we're back in the Beach Ballroom June 17th. The ringside tickets are gone. They went a long time ago. General admission is still available, priced at £17. You're going to get over 3 hours of action. You're going to get people that you watch on television. You watch Raw, you watch SmackDown, you have people you remember. Rikishi, I remember him. Too cool, that whole deal, Hornswoggle, who has been challenged by Looking Sharp. Looking Sharp, the smallest of the guys in the roster, challenging. Be the one time that if he was to get the match he wants with Hornswoggle, it'll be the one time that he's the biggest man in the match. That'll be the first time that's ever happened. He's 8.5 stone and 5'5".
He's very small.
But he's also very talented. Looking Sharp is one of the more. Looking Sharp, who is, from what I can gather, my partner's favourite wrestler in Scotland. So it's not me. Her favourite is Looking Sharp.
That cute wee boy.
He's a nightmare. But he's talented. So in terms of matches announced so much so far for that, really only set in stone myself and Shawn Johnston for the Undisputed Wrestling Championship. Things will become more clear. Sami Zayn has challenged Melina to a match. Whether or not Melina accepts, although if I know anything about Melina, she's not going to back down from the challenge because she's came here to fight. She hasn't came here to sit in the crowd and watch the show.
Definitely.
So Sami Zayn wants to make a name for herself by picking off a former WWE Women's Champion. Hopefully she says yes, because that's a match I like to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Hornswoggle has been challenged by Looking Sharp. Whether or not that happens or not, I like to think it would, because everyone wants to see Hornswoggle as Looking Sharp. That could be absolutely fantastic. And where Rikishi falls into this, not sure. I do know that Grado is going to be on the show, and anytime Grado is on the show, you're guaranteed a good time.
Yes, definitely.
And Aberdeen Anarchy is... If you're a wrestling fan, go.
Yeah.
If you're sitting on the fence, take a chance.
Yeah, it's well worth the ticket price. You will be going to a massive event in the Beach Ballroom, which is a very historic building.
Yes, a beautiful venue.
The Beatles have played there. I mean, it comes to British wrestling scene, that was a part of the classic World of Sport wrestling scene. So it's a building that has a lot of historical importance for wrestling, and it is a beautiful building.
It was 1984 was the last time that wrestling was there, until 29 years later we came back but wrestling. So almost a 30-year absence of wrestling in that venue, and I was very proud for us to be the ones to bring it back. And now it's became a big deal. So like WWE have Wrestlemania, we have Aberdeen Anarchy. It's one night where we get to really put the pedal to the metal and just go for it. So get yourself there. Yeah. Because it's a guaranteed good night. You go to see a wrestling show, sometimes you're 40, 50, 60, 70, £100 for a ticket. Yeah. £70 gets you in for a guaranteed at least 3 hours of action. Yeah. And
I've been to everyone. I can confirm I have never had a bad time. It is always brilliant. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'm saying that because it is a legitimately really, really good night to go in. It's a brilliant night. Following on from that, other than your own match, what are you looking forward to watching through the curtains at the Beach Ballroom this year?
I won't look through the curtains, because I don't want people being distracted by seeing my spiky head come through. Backstage with various monitors set around. There's a good chance for the referees and management to keep an eye on things, but also gives, if you get a chance, you get a free 10 minutes, you can have a wee look and see what's happening. Always good to see how the crowd is before you go out. And if anyone spilt any water on the way out, it's like don't run down that way because you're going to fall and have an accident. And all these things that people don't think about, keep an eye on. In terms of what I'm most looking forward to, if Looking Sharp and Hornswoggle is a match that does get confirmed, which I like it to be, that's top of my list.
Awesome.
I think I'll get a big kick out of that one.
You just want to see Looking Sharp getting
squashed. I want to see Hornswoggle destroyed. I would love to see the tadpole splash. Oh, brilliant. And I'd love to see a 1, 2, 3 following it. Yeah, that's definitely top list, and I think a lot of people would agree with that because there's people clamouring for that match. Yeah. So
I would like to see that.
Yeah.
So, what has been your favourite Aberdeen Anarchy moment?
Well, winning the championship from Joe Coffey 2015.
Oh, that was brilliant.
I was a bit of a war, and Joe Coffey is a guy I've got a lot of respect for. One of my favourite matches, not just because of the result, but it's headlining an Aberdeen Anarchy with a guy you got a lot of respect for. Whether I get along with him or not is regardless.
I mean, I would say he's one of the best wrestlers going about Britain, look-wise, talent-wise.
He's one of the next guys I think that's going to go somewhere. Yeah. There's a lot of guys who've moved elsewhere to bigger and better things. And if someone was to ask me who's next, Joe has to be there for me. Yeah. And I'm biased because I've got a lot. I do have a lot of respect for him. I think for me, if Joe isn't on that short list, then someone's went wrong.
Yeah, I think I would agree there 100%.
I think. But yeah, Joe Coffey needs, for me, winning there, teaming with X-Pac was great. When the first Anarchy, my match was second there, and I followed Stevie Xavier and Bingo Balance. So that's great. Yeah. But they just had what at that point was probably the best opener in any wrestling show ever. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, you have to go out and follow those two. and then we did. Yeah. And people were well into it. So
that is what people came for. They came to see matches, so they weren't sitting on their hands. That's what I mean. When people go to the Aberdeen Anarchy events, they're not sitting on their hands. Everyone's there to have fun.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it by saying that. And no, they're there to have a good time, and they're there to react, and they're into it. And so obviously your first is always going to be special. Yeah. Last year was myself and Crusher Creme, and I know you want to talk about him later on, possibly there, because there's some questions there. Mm-hmm. That was a match that people thought we'd never see. Yeah. And it happened. And
I mean, I'll just ask you that right now. I mean, last year you went to an actual war with Crusher Craig at the Beach Ballroom. I mean, at the end of the match, Crusher sustained a really, really serious injury. I think it was a broken hip.
He broke a hip socket. It's when you come off the top rope, it's called high risk for reasons. Yeah. Sounds like every Gorilla Monsoon cliche all the time, but it's true. Yeah. He won't find me up there very much because that's just not my forte. Mm-hmm. You know, there's people far better than me, and they are spectacular with it. That's not where I like to go. Yeah. But Crusher went up there, which is uncharacteristic for a man of his size to go up there. Yeah. And he came off the top, and unfortunately, it wasn't the best decision that he'd made, and he's not wrestled since. And it's coming up for almost a year now. And a broken hip socket is not something that takes the rehab. And the healing process. Yeah. So he's at the mercy of his doctors. Yeah. So they say, when's he coming back? And it's like, I don't think he can answer that because it's not up to him.
I mean, I know for a fact he's quite a quiet. He doesn't really speak to people. He keeps himself to himself. So
he doesn't really know.
I don't know if you've heard any rumblings from his direction, or is it just all still silent at the moment? Crutcher's not gonna phone me and say, "Hey Scott, how you doing?" Just so you know, I'm healing up well. You know, it's all I can go by is he got hurt. Mm-hmm. It was a bad injury. He's since been operated on, and he hasn't wrestled since, and he hasn't really been seen at shows. Mm-hmm. And he's not about to tell me his personal business. So what's probably going to happen is I'll know the same time everyone else knows. Mm-hmm. And when that is, I don't know. Yeah. But hopefully, it's always unfortunate to see one. It doesn't matter whether, I know the match I was in was the match that he got hurt in. I was a part of that. But you don't want to see 1 year old go down. No. There's a difference between winning and hurting someone. That was never my intention. He came off the top rope and it didn't pay off for him. No. So you never want to see 1 year old go down an injury because it's not a good scene. No. And all we can hope for is we hope that he comes back sooner rather than later. And people should probably be scared if you're a wrestler in Wrestlezone. You should probably not be looking forward to that because when he comes back, he's probably going to kill everyone. Well, there's going to be questions if and when he does come back. Is that how is he going to be the same man he was before having such a serious injury? I mean, it's been a year. It's not just the fact that he hurt himself. I mean, he's been operated on, but being away for it's going to be at least a bare minimum a year. He comes back. It's going to be that ring rust. He hasn't done anything in a year. It's not sometimes it's not as easy as just jumping back in the bike and going. It takes time to get used to the ring again because if you're not ready, you can easily get hurt again. Yeah. But if anyone can do it, it's going to be him. Yeah. So if Crusher somehow hears this, if he gets on the internet, best of luck with your recovery, and we can hope to see him in the future. Mm-hmm. Back to Aberdeen Anarchy. Do you have any funny stories from Aberdeen Anarchy?
I have lots of stories of funny. I have lots of stories from Anarchy that I'm not going to repeat here.
Have you got any funny ones that you can repeat?
I just a little one. The Granite City Hot Shots and Jim Duggan teamed up to face Scott Maverick, James Midas, and Aspen Faith in the first Anarchy, and I was like, I loved that. Great fun. And just before the Hot Shots went out through the curtain, the tag champions at that point, and they get the belts on, and then just as they wait to go through the curtain, here's Billy Gunn and grabs the belts. So as they go out, the belts pop off, and they have this really awkward moment where it's like they're really excited. Okay, with all these people here. Yeah. Okay, we go teaming with Jim Duggan. We're all excited, and then the moment they come through, they're having to fight to keep their belts from falling on the ground. It's like Billy. He was very much in a he was very. Our referee Mikey and his Billy made it his mission for the whole weekend to just pick at him and pick at him and pick at him and pick at him. And Billy Gunn was high spirits. Once you fed him, he was okay. Yeah. Because he was grumpy when he was hungry, and I was like, I completely sympathise because I'm just the same. That always stands out with me. Just general interaction with Jim Duggan.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Was fantastic. I know like you spent time with him as well.
Yeah.
He was great. There is other stories, but I just
maybe
don't.
For another day.
I just don't like some of the things. Yeah. I just don't think. Yeah.
Save it for the shoot interview in a few years.
It would be the shoot interview in 10 years. The shoot interview that will never end.
Yeah, it'd be like a 5 hour, but like Ric Flair's one.
Yeah.
So finally, let's get to the end of this. Do you have anything you would like to say in the lead up to this year's Aberdeen Anarchy?
Well, I've said quite a bit already, apart from if you haven't liked us on Facebook, get a like going. You go on that notification thing where it says you see updates first about it.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to like a page and then forget about it. Like the Wrestlezone page, the Wrestlezone Training Academy. If yourself or anyone you know is interested in giving it a shot, trying, because it's rewarding if you get it. There's nothing quite like getting to the point where you get to that level where you're ready to be in a show and knowing that the crowds came to see you. And that's a very rewarding. It's a very empowering experience to know that you made a difference in someone's life. So, like Google machine, Facebook, very easy to find us. Wrestlezone Scotland is what you're looking for, not Wrestlezone.com, which is a new site, and we still get tweets.
They're a dirt sheet.
And messages from people. Hey, no, you guys heard about this? It's like wrong Wrestlezone all the time. Wrestlezone Scotland. It's like Aberdeen Wrestling. You're gonna find it. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We've got a website. Aberdeen Anarchy, Beach Ballroom, June 17th. So always a good night. Not just saying it because, I would say it. Steve next to me knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's been there for a lot of it. He's been behind the scenes for stuff. He knows what's going on and he knows it's a good night. Looking forward to it. Hopefully Hornswoggle accepts the challenge from looking short. I'm dying to see that match more than any other match. Hoping to retain the Undisputed Championship.
Do you have any words for Shawn?
Well, after last night, the words I'd have for Shawn I probably won't say here because it wouldn't be appropriate because the language would be a bit unsavoury.
A bit strong.
So it's one thing to take advantage of a man when he can't see what he's doing. It didn't seem to take any guts to do that. Oh, it's fine. And he also had in the Richard R. Russell is his
he's back on the go, is he?
His advisor, his consultant. He had Shawn had his walking cane. That was what was saying to him.
So not only were you blindfolded, but he used a weapon.
Yeah. I only knew this after the fact when I had to ask Martin, who's our ring announcer, say, tell me what happened, and he told me, and then I kind of lost it a little bit.
Okay. Well, Shawn, if I was you, I'd probably be a bit scared.
The thing is, he doesn't need to resort to that because I've been singing his praises since 2011.
Yeah, he's a perfectly able wrestler. He does not need to do that.
He's another one that you mentioned, Aspen Faith.
Yeah.
Right, a product of the environment that we're in. There's Shawn Johnston is another. He got himself his start as a tag team wrestler, 4-time tag team champion. Kind of exhausted the possibilities there, so he wanted to move on. Didn't do it in the most honourable ways, but now he's a singles guy, and now he's won the Regal Rumble. This year's Rumble, he won it after coming close last year. Now he's got a shot at the championship, and if he left it at that and the better man wins, it'd be perfect. But now he's ruined that. Yeah? He went over the line last night, and it's no longer going to be like that's a nice little wrestling match. It's going to be more than that now, and that's going to be on him. And if he's unsuccessful, it's going to be his fault because he started this, and I'm going to finish it.
Awesome. Well,
that's anarchy season, Steve.
Anarchy season.
Lots of things happening on the lead up. Say the Comic Con. Going to be part of the Aberdeen Comic Con, going to be part of Aberdeen Music Festival. Yeah. Going to be holding our annual Union Square outdoor event. And then we get to Anarchy, Stonehaven, May 11th. Lots of dates and bad dates. I think Stonehaven, May 11th is the final official stop before Anarchy and then all the other events that we have going on. Super busy. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Scotty, thank you very much for your time. This has been amazing. May the force be with you when you defend your title against Shawn Johnston on the 17th of June at this year's Aberdeen Anarchy.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
So there you go, everyone. Hopefully you've all got to get a good look into the mind of Scotty Swift and see what it's like to be part of a company that puts on a show like this every year. Next week, we've got an interview with Aspen Faith, another Wrestlezone wrestler who also wrestles for Discovery Wrestling, ICW, amongst many others. You'll be able to find this on the site next week. Make sure to come back, hit subscribe, put that bookmarks in, come back, sit down and listen for an hour as we talk to Aspen Faith about wrestling and, of course, Aberdeen Anarchy. My name's Steve. Thanks for listening.